In order to fully understand how Job Corps works, one would need to understand how the structure of Job Corps works. There may be different structures at different Job Corps, but the one I will be explaining is what is set up by the Adams and Associates at Treasure Island Job Corps. If you've gone to a different Job Corps or do go to one and remember what the structure was set up like, feel free to comment about it. So as far as who runs Job Corps goes, the entire program is slightly overseen by Department of Labor, also known as DOL. What they mostly do is visit the centers to make sure that they are up to DOL standards. They also decide who gets the contract for actually running the center. In this way, they do not directly run the centers, but instead give that task to a third party or a private company. From what I have learned, the Department of Labor has a sort of bidding system for the centers in which companies that are interested in running the center can come up with a detailed, written and documented plan as to how they will run the center using only so much amount of money. The company that DOL deems to have the plan that requires the least amount of money and hopefully a plan that at least makes sense will win the bid and be contracted the center for a certain number of years. Recently, it just so happens that the contract for Adams and Associates has expired and the bidding system is currently going on for the center that I go to. Hopefully it'll be someone better. I have a feeling though that all the companies that run Job Corps centers are corrupt or ill-suited to run the centers in some way. Adams and Associates has been corrupt in running this center, and the stuff that happened at the North Texas Job Corps was from a different company running it that was not Adams and Associates, which does not make me feel good about any of the companies running any of the Job Corps centers. Just a side note, one of the things that's good to remember when you think of these things is this is our taxpayers' money going to work here. So we need to have transparency as far as how these centers are run and if they're ran correctly. Now, the way the rest of the structure is set up at Treasure Island Job Corps is dependent on Adams and Associates, who hires all the staff, decides who to hire and when, as well as how most things are supposed to be ran at this Job Corps, especially in the dorms, trades, and cafeteria. The way Adams and Associates run the center is pretty questionable. They do not formally train their staff, and they like to keep their trainees in the dark about their rules and regulations, as no one has received any sort of handbook stating just how Adams and Associates will be helping us accomplish our goals. It wasn't until recently that the new Student Government Association decided it would be a good idea for all the trainees to have one. Mind you, the Student Government Association is ran by trainees itself and not actual staff members. The way I learned of the structure of how this Job Corps is run is by asking about, observing, and noticing who is able to command who in the chain of command of staff members. At the top of running this Job Corps center, the person who reports to Adams and Associates is the center director, whose job it is to oversee every part of the Job Corps center except for the outreach and admissions, who is operated by the Department of Labor. Under the center director is the deputy center director, who is kind of like a vice president and deals with some of the matters that the center director does not deal with, as well as some of the matters that the center director also does deal with. Under the deputy center director, the structure splits into different sections of the center, which are classified into committees that trainees can join, as well as formal sections of the Job Corps staff. The sections and committees are then split up into dorms/residential, recreation, cafeteria, trades, SGA, as well as other things, all of which will be discussed in their own videos. Regarding the structure for the trade building and dorms, there are people in both of those who are under the deputy center director. In the trade building, under the deputy center director are the trade managers, who are in charge of overseeing the trades, and under them are the trade instructors. The trade instructors then oversee and teach the trainees. The trade manager for the soft trades also calls himself the ACT coordinator, even though it has been confirmed that no such position formally exists anymore. As far as calling himself the ACT coordinator, he just has the responsibility of organizing the application process for the ACT program and helps decide who gets into the ACT program. Moving on, we also have the CTS personnel, who are in charge of several miscellaneous things, such as trying to keep trainees from quitting the program and finding out why they quit the program. These staff members work under the Deputy Center Director as far as I know. Also under the Deputy Center Director are the CTR instructors, who are in charge of helping trainees in their last few weeks at Job Corps. This will be discussed later. The WBL, or Work-Based Learning Manager, is also in the trade building under the Deputy Center Director and is in charge of the Week 5 WBL as well as WBL required in each trade. I will also elaborate more on this later. Another part of the trade building is also the education part, which is managed by the academics manager, who is also under the Deputy Center Director, and under him are academic instructors in both Sciatech and Penn Foster, all of which teach the trainees for passing their TABE tests or to earn their high school diplomas. Now to the dorms. From what I know, the manager of the dorms under the Deputy Center Director is the Social Development Director. Oh, we will definitely be discussing that position later. Anyways, under the Social Development Director, on each of the 5 floors are dorm supervisors, and under them are residential coordinators who have the residential advisors under them. And they are in charge of directly taking care of matters regarding the trainees. Also under the Social Development Director are some of the other staff members whom I don't remember what their positions are for. Also in the dorms are the CSIO and security staff who work under the Deputy Center Director, but also take orders from the Social Development Director. Unfortunately, I don't know how the cafeteria staffing is set up, but I will find out and I will report about it in a later vlog. And that is pretty much the structure here at Job Corps. Hey, thanks for watching. Just something you might find interesting, this was originally recorded on June 9th, 2015. If you like this video, feel free to like, and if you would like to see more in the future, feel free to subscribe.